whenever. Hey, all right. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Tonight we're talking to Shad Turner. He runs the podcast Vets Unite. And hey, Shad, what's up? How you doing? It's not Shad. I'm sorry, it's Shad, not Chad or Brad or Mad or Dad.
Exactly. It's shad, like the fish, if anyone knows what that's all about.
I don't know what a shadfish is. What is that?
Really? Shad is like a small bait fish. Okay. And if you go to Walmart to the fishing section, my name is plastered on like 20 fucking products there. So if you ever want to think of me, go to Walmart and go to the fishing section.
Oh, nice. See, all I ever got was the stupid fucking Hot Topic pants that all the goths wore in the early 2000s.
Oh, Jesus, yeah.
And like a bright red square with Tripp written on it. They're like, hey, that's your name. Why'd you wear those? I'm like, because, no.
Sadly, I think I own a pair of those.
Well, I mean,
I have not worn them in many, many years, but I think I've got a pair of those.
God awful. God awful. You feel ashamed of yourself. Not because of that. I'm sure I don't know what it is that you should be ashamed of yourself of, but like, we all have something to be ashamed of, and I'm going to pin it on you for the Tripp pants.
There you go.
Even though my name is on your ass.
That is true. Your name is right there, man.
Dude, I'm so glad. Like I know that there's some like horrible fucking fads going on right now, but I'm so glad that like the fucking like baggy pants goth thing isn't like anywhere near acceptable anymore.
I have not even been remotely close to any of that since, God, I don't know what, last 10 years, at least. When my wife and I first got married, we got married in 2002. We lived for a year out in the San Antonio area. Then we moved to Houston. Once we moved to Houston, she started reconnecting with a bunch of her old friends. Thing leads to another. Next thing you know, we're going to like this. There's a goth club called Numbers here in Houston.
Okay.
And I've seen a couple of good concerts there. I've seen Lacuna Coil. I've seen Typo Negative. Fisher Spooner. I don't know if you've heard of that one. Dude's fucking prima donna from hell. Where he's in the middle of his show. He's the headliner, right? So he's in the middle of his show, and he's expecting the audience to sing along with him. And I guess nobody is. So he actually stops right in the middle of it. And he's like, you motherfuckers, blah, blah. I mean, he just goes on this like rant about how you're supposed to be singing with me and blah, blah, blah. And then I guess he sees a lot of people like rolling their eyes at him. And that just pisses him off even more. Eventually he calms down and starts singing again. But yeah, dude, if you're not Axl Rose, don't fucking do that. And then like, even if you are Axl Rose, like you're still 30 years too late to be doing that kind of shit. So don't. Yeah. Now I did say I saw Typo Negative there.
How was that?
That was actually a really damn good show, despite the fact that the AC was not working on stage.
Yeah.
Which, what was the dude's name? Peter Steele? Yeah, Peter Steele. He made a point to say how he would never play that fucking club again because the time before that he was there, they kept tripping the breakers because the PA system was just pulling too much juice, and it kept tripping breakers all through his set. So he's like, "Fuck this shit." And then he comes out there for that show, and it's hotter than hell. He had a temp gauge up there, and he's like, "It's fucking 97 degrees up here. I'm sweating my ass off. I would have more fun doing a street concert for all of y'all for free before I'll come back to this damn club and do another show."
Did he put his money where his mouth was and fucking do it?
No, unfortunately he choked on his fucking rice while he was jerking off in his hotel room or some shit.
Oh,
yeah.
I guess that'll happen. I mean, right. Both of those are very good things. I don't know if they should be mixed.
Well, that was something that he had said that he'd rather do that, be in his hotel room with a box of Chinese to-go rice and that in one hand and his Peter in the other. And,
that's not the kind of sauce you're supposed to put on that stuff. Like that does not count as duck sauce. All right.
That's true. But like I said, he did make a reference to that in the show. So it's like, well, maybe that's his thing.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Fucking rock stars are assholes. Like fucking. Actually, I probably shouldn't say that. I'm having one on tomorrow, but
I saw that. I was because of that post. I checked the chick out, and it seems like it'll be a pretty cool show.
Yeah, no. Her band. I think they only have one song out right now. They have another one coming out, I think, on the 30th. But they're pretty legit. They have or they have had other songs they've done like on Instagram Live or like like on a YouTube video or something. But like so far as studio recording, they only have that one song on. It's pretty good. I fucking dig it. So yeah,
cool.
Yeah, but no. But besides that, rock stars are all fucking assholes. I would know. I spent enough time in California playing in fucking bands.
Right.
Yeah, and then you get that asshole Kurt coming. He's like, I don't have a gun. I'm like, yeah, sure, you fucking don't.
Mm-hmm. But so here's a question for you.
Yeah, what's up?
What's your opinion on vaccines?
You should probably get them so that you don't die. And then if you die from the vaccine, then like maybe that's just natural selection at that fucking point.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah, that and like I don't really get. Actually, I get it because people are fucking dumb. But the thing is with like, oh, hey, we're getting more vaccines and there's more like autistic people. Like there's two things that like, first off, less people are dying from preventable disease. Mm-hmm. Secondly, there's a lot of shit that we used to identify as other things that we just call autistic or on the spectrum now, because, like 20 years ago, you would either be the special kid or retarded, and those aren't politically correct anymore. So now you're on the spectrum. So yes, there's technically more people with there's been more people diagnosed with autism,
mm-hmm.
but the same amount of them are still around, if that makes sense.
I think so. Kind of like COVID testing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's more testing, so of course there's more shit.
Yeah. Weird what happens when you look, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's kind of like, what is it? Like a natural disaster, right?
Mm-hmm.
So say there's a volcano that fucking explodes on some fucking island in the South Pacific, and no one's around to see it. Satellite sees it, cool, volcano blew up. No fucking big deal. Yeah. Same volcano blows up in fucking Tokyo, kills fucking 3 million people. That's a natural disaster. The only reason something is a natural disaster is if it kills people.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God. Sorry. This totally reminded me of... So I'd mentioned to you about that show Future Man that's on Hulu, right?
Yeah.
And so in the third season, there's this one character, her name's Tiger. And she is like this natural born killing machine. She loves to kill. She's just badass at it. Well, there's this point where there's all these time cops that are kind of like after them. And she's
like time cop with Van Damme type cop?
Almost, but they can't do the splits.
Oh, okay.
And so these guys are after them. And they're in the woods back in like, I don't know, 1672 or some crap, because, they're bouncing through time.
Yeah.
And so she sets up all these traps because they know that at some point these people are coming for them. And so as she's going through the woods, her and this other guy, they're like, oh, quick, duck over here. And then a tree falls, lands on a dude's head, and you can actually hear his body go splat. So she walks over to the tree and she's like, huh. So if a tree does fall in the woods, it does make a sound. Sounds like splat. But the way she said it was just fucking hilarious.
Nice.
But she had like all those little references to things like, oh, look, a bear really does shit in the woods. As she's digging her hand through a pile of bear crap. That's part of the storyline. But anyways.
All right. Now, see, I've always wanted to know, does the Pope shit in the woods?
Why would he want to?
I don't know, because he can get closer to nature and God and all that.
True, he could. I don't think they would let him.
Well, he's from Argentina right now. What if he goes home and like goes and hangs out in the woods or something? Because I don't know what the situation with woods are around Rome, so I don't think he could walk. But the Pope does travel. He could find
one. True. But I just think his handlers wouldn't let him. I mean, he's a Pope. He could do whatever he wanted, but he still got handlers.
Like, I'm not convinced that the Pope doesn't have like lightning powers.
He does look like he should. Yeah.
Well, that guy before him, though, the dude that was like the Hitler Youth Pope, like that dude, like straight up looked like.
Oh,
like he literally was a Nazi, but like he looked like he still was.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I was confusing those two. You're right. The one before him, he was the emperor right there, man. He should have been like, lightning bolts and shit.
Although I did think it was neat that he stepped down because, like, I'm too old to do this. Let me leave. And it's like, dude, I wish more people would fucking do that.
I know. Jeez.
Like say what you want about John McCain. Like, I'm not going to get on the political side of agree or surgery, but if you have a fucking brain tumor and you're on your deathbed, maybe resign.
Right? It's
just maybe
step out while you're still there and let somebody else take over.
Yeah, no, because like you have a duty to your fucking like people to fucking represent them, and if your brain isn't working right, like actual medical condition, like you're not fit for fucking duty. Like
exactly.
Same thing in the military. Hey, look, fucking, you don't have a fucking ankle anymore.
Right?
Bounce, dude. Nothing against you personally, just you can't perform. So
yeah. Yep. And you know, God, but from all the different people that I've interviewed, all the different people I've talked to, whenever they tell me, you know, yeah, I got out on medical and, you know, I didn't want to, but the Army, the Navy, the whoever the hell said, sorry, dude, you know, you're going to walk with a limp from now on. We don't need you. You can go on now.
Yeah.
It's like, that's just messed up shit.
Well, I mean, you know, that makes sense. So, like, I got medically discharged, but like, I mean, it's like, because I can't run anymore. And it's like, well, if I can't run or carry a bunch of shit around, like, I'm not going to be good in a situation where you need to carry heavy shit and run.
Yeah.
You know, which is unfortunate, but I mean, like, you're there to do a fucking job. So, you know, whatever. But yeah, hey, dude, fucking tell me about the people you have been talking to. Cause, you know, I figured while we are here, we should probably pimp out the podcast a little bit.
There you go. All right. So basically what I've been looking for lately, and by lately, I mean, since like episode number 2, and I'm on 30, I just released 33 today.
Nice.
So the people I've been looking for are like musicians, writers, artists, other podcasters, actors.
That's all me right there, buddy.
And yeah, there you go. And people just doing cool shit in general, but they use that cool stuff to help them with any PTSD issues they might have.
Okay.
And because, and almost every person that I've talked to has used whatever that thing is to help them not have to be on a handful of pills a day from the VA.
Yeah.
I've interviewed one dude. He was a Navajo, grew up drinking since the age of 14.
Yeah.
Drank all through his enlistment, became a Ranger, got out, and continued drinking. And one night he's sitting there with his guitar in one hand, 45 in the other, and a bottle of vodka.
That's like a really good country song, like not to be callous about it.
It should have been, yes. But he's like, you know what? Tonight's the night, but I'm going to play one more song. So he played that song and hated the way he played it. So he played it again. And he kept doing this all night long until he finally passed out. He wakes up the next morning. He's like, man, what the hell am I doing? This bullshit. Grabs the vodka, pours it out, calls this one sober buddy.
Yeah.
Tells him, man, I need help, you know, take me to the VA. So they go to the VA. He goes through rehab for like a week. And then he's been good ever since. He has not touched alcohol. He tried going to like another like a AA meeting, but VA style.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, nah, I'm good. You know, after seeing these, nah, I'm good. I don't need to come here anymore. And again, music is his therapy.
Well, yeah, no, you gotta get in where you can fit in.
Yeah.
Although, sadly, once again, not to be callous, but that is kind of like one of those things that's maybe it's just my sick sense of humor. It's like, yeah, dude, I'm too tired to kill myself tonight. I'm just gonna go take a nap. It's like,
right.
That's not how this works, but okay, buddy. See you in the morning. We'll have egg.
And then there's another lady. She was a Army MP.
Okay.
Took up singing because she's really good at it. And she got to tour around and stuff. But I believe she had her things that caused her to have PTSD before she got out. And once she got out, the VA, of course, gave her a handful of pills, said, here you go. This will fix all your problems.
Which it doesn't do that because like PTSD is fucking, the way it works is fucking stupid because it's not a certain, well-defined fucking condition. It's just like your brain's broken, doesn't fucking work right. So if there isn't a set way that it works when it's broken, there isn't like a method to fix it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's not like, oh, hey, like, I guess to make it in more broader terms, it's not like, oh, hey, yeah, your carburetor's bad and that's causing this. Or like, hey, your rear differential needs grease.
Mm-hmm.
Fix that. It's like, your car's fucked. Deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, which it's shitty, but like, I don't know, it's dumb the way it works, but you know, brain stuff always is. And have you frozen on me? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing technical difficulties at the moment. Please hang in there. And if not, well, there's only 2 of you watching anyway. So, hi, guys. Let me see what's going on with this. Also, later, if, you know, whoever's watching or whatever, when I do the audio for this, I'll cut this bit out. All right. Well, it's just you and me for right now. He was experiencing some shit earlier. He said his Wi-Fi router was on the fritz. So, you know, hooray. I need to write down to cut this part out. Cut out shit signal part at around 15 minutes. Dude, that's fucking great. So, yeah. Thanks, Matt. I'm glad you're here for moral support or morale support. Hey, did you get YouTube to work? Because it said YouTube's being a bitch right now and not wanting to load the vid. I take it as soon as your YouTube wanted to load it, his wanted to fucking shit the bed. Hard. Shit in the bed hard. It's like some Ricky Bobby level fucking dunk it out. Which is fucking great. So thanks, guys. Thanks for Matt and whoever else is here for being here. I appreciate it. And I'm also not really fucking good at just, you know, talking about bullshit by myself. So let's catch one thing. Nothing yet. Blinkety blink blink. Blink blank. Blinkety blink 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 blank. Do. Hey, Nate, what's up? We'll see if this guy gets his fucking technological situation back together and this gets unfucked. But if not, then I'll probably hang out for like 5 or 6 more minutes and then call it a ball from there. Oh, wait. No, his little thing popped up.
All right, we're gonna try this again, but this time from my phone because I don't know what the hell's going on with my internet at the house.
Ah, that bites, dude.
Big time.
It's not gonna like eat up all your fucking data plan, is it? All right.
But as long as it works, it works.
All right, yeah, dude, fucking chuck it in the fuck it bucket then, right?
Yep. Now, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you all right.
All right, cool. Yeah. I can only hear you in one ear. I don't know why my other ear's not working.
Oh, because nothing's going to work.
I'm telling you, that kind of nice.
Dude, Murphy and his laws are fuckers, and they are fuckering.
Absolutely. See, like right now, it's showing that my computer's reconnecting, but I don't know if I should trust it or not. It's either that or we could keep 2 feeds open. I could mute one, and then if the computer craps out, then we just switch it back over to the other.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you want to fucking fuck at it, then, you know, whatever. But while you're doing that, yeah, what were we talking about? We were talking about how PTSD is fucking stupid and your brain's dumb because, I don't know.
Yeah.
Brain's dumb or dumb.
Yeah, I'm looking at that computer stuff.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so.
Yeah. Anyway, we're at this point, ladies and gentlemen. Fiends and fiendesses. What is the feminine form of fiend? Is that like
fiendess?
Fiendess? Fiend line? That sounds a lot like penis. I don't know if the
well, I mean, if it is a female version, why not?
Well, I mean, I guess could be. Yeah. So, yeah. So, who else you had on?
All right, so let's see. Recently I've had a writer, AJ Powell.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote a book called Tactical Pause, a daily tactical pause for daily growing leaders.
Oh,
90 days of combat veteran mentorship to guide your journey to success. And basically, he's got 90 chapters in here. So the idea is you read one chapter a day and process it. Ideally, you do it in the morning,
yeah.
and you process what you read, and it just kind of keep it in your mind, throughout the day. And supposedly, by the end of 90 days, it makes you a more successful leader.
Hmm.
So I'm on day one.
Oh, how was day one?
Well, let me rephrase that. When I said I'm on day one, I started reading it this morning and then realized that I had no time because I had other shit that I had to get done.
One of those
Because
things.
yes, because today was my baby's 9-month checkup,
Oh,
and so they say she's still good. She's still a human.
that's
Has not turned into a lizard person yet. And yeah, so she's growing, getting bigger, getting stronger. We're
all
good.
right. Yeah. No, I was going to ask what do you mean still a human? Like, is there something you should tell us? Like, do you guys molt at a certain point?
But that's the funny thing.
Are
My
you wearing a
wife,
skin suit right now?
I am not, but I still wonder about my wife sometimes
Oh, okay. Gonna plead the
because during the winter, her hands just like it looks like they're molting. They just all the skin on her hand, on the palm of her hand, just starts flaking off.
Yeah,
So
that's gross. I have
yeah,
a buddy in high school that was like that, where like the insides of his hands were like permanent calluses like the whole time, and I felt really bad for his girlfriends.
right. Well, I mean, you should kind of feel bad for him because that means that he can't, have fun with Lucy and Rachel.
Hey, dude, fucking, you can cut a hole in a fucking watermelon. Be all right. Or a tangerine, whatever you're working with.
Right, right. You know, God, what? There was some movie. I think it was a movie or a TV show or something where they're talking about people doing that with cantaloupes.
I know there was a YouTube video. I don't know if there's a
Yeah,
movie. Yeah, I
I
wouldn't
don't.
know.
That just doesn't sound comfortable. But then again, I guess you cut the hole the right size, right?
Yeah, I'd be more worried about the citric acid. Citric acid.
Mm. I don't think you have to worry about that with cantaloupes. They're not really acidic, are they?
I think they. Wait, no, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of grapefruits.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, no, grapefruits would be a fucking problem.
Well, I mean, if a grapefruit was big enough for you, then you probably have other problems.
I mean, grapefruit's like that big. Cut it in half.
I guess it depends on what grapefruit you get.
Yeah.
Down here in Texas, we get those the ruby red, now the Rio something, I don't know, ruby reds, Rio something or other, and they're about the size of a small softball.
Yeah.
And
That reminds me, I knew this guy, and he was married to some Filipino chick that he picked up while he was in the Navy, brought her home, and she didn't really speak English that well.
right.
Like she got along, but if she had like 2 drinks or like anything went wrong, and just reverted back to Tagalog.
Okay.
And I remember one time he was telling me that they were getting frisky, and she goes to like grab the KY, but grabs the wrong bottle and just gets up and starts screaming. Ends up grabbing hand sanitizer instead, and she's like upside down in the fucking bath, just like like putting all the cold water on her stuff. And he goes and he's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" And like she's like frantic and like forgot how to speak English. She's like, spicy pussy, spicy pussy.
Oh my god. Oh, that's excellent. Now, I've heard of family members that have had issues where they didn't find anything of a lubricative nature, so they grabbed toothpaste, like minty
Ew.
fresh toothpaste. I guess that doesn't go over very well.
Yeah, no, I'd imagine not. That's kind of like trying to use duct tape as a condom.
I mean, you can use it for a lot of things.
I don't know if that's one of them. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I feel better at that point, just like super gluing your dick hole closed and like hoping for best.
God, I can't even imagine what that would end up as. I don't think it's supposed to be dammed up at that point.
No, I'm not either. But I mean, like, hey, push comes to shove, and you don't want to pay for the child support.
That's true. That's true.
Got to do something, right?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
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 Man, I tell you what, this just pissed me off about my internet. Like, God, just
Yeah, no, that's a bite in the ass too. Like, because like it never happens when it's convenient, you know.
No. Now I will say this: my father-in-law has been bitching. Now I say it like that. Yes, we live with my wife's parents,
Yeah.
but by choice. Because after we had the baby, that my wife Cindy, she wanted to be closer to her parents so her mom could help her out with the baby, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then once we moved in here, then it turned out that it actually is more beneficial for them to have us here than not, because otherwise they'll just start bickering amongst each other all day long. But with us here, they've got the baby and they can focus on the baby, and life is good, life is happy. So
Yeah, that could have gone the total wrong way though. Like there was this Afghan National Police commander when I was in Afghan, and he had 2 wives, and he was saying it was great because when he had one wife, he comes home from work, and that one wife would just bitch at him all day. And then he got a second wife, and now they're like competing for his love. And I'm like, wait, what if they decide to team up and you're just like double fucked now? Like this could backfire real fucking quick, buddy.
oh yeah, definitely. If you already got one bitching at you, why would you want a second?
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, well, it happens.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, no, fucking. Who else have you been talking to recently? Like, it was like,
Let's see.
because I know
Now,
you're like
also,
on your game with that.
all right, so yeah, I've got AJ. I've talked to my most recent show, episode 33, was with this guy Roman Roberts.
Okay.
He's got a podcast also called Real Talk with Roman.
Okay.
10-minute episodes.
Really?
Every episode exactly 10 minutes long.
What the hell do you talk about in 10 minutes?
Believe it or not, he can pack a lot of shit in 10 minutes because he is a master at the edits.
Oh, nice.
And like he did an episode with Vincent Vargas
Uh-huh.
from Drinking Bros, Mayans MC, all that,
Yeah.
And God, he said his interview was like 40 plus minutes long, but he condensed it down into 10 minutes. And like every if it was half second or longer, he cut it out of silence. So I mean, it's just I mean, just boom, 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 boom. It was very well done, I must say.
Huh.
But he was an Army interrogator.
Oh.
And he said what do you think the number one question he gets is?
How many dicks have you seen?
No, but that's probably his second. No, his first one was, how many people have you waterboarded?
Oh.
And he's like, and of all the places, he did a show, and there's these 3 little ladies on the show that were interviewing him. And one of them was just like all up in his shit about, well, when you waterboard people, do you do it like this, or do you do it like that, or have you ever actually killed someone while you're waterboarding them? And it's like, and the dude's like, man, I feel for this lady's husband because she's got some fucking issues.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not waterboarding if you use diesel.
That can go a whole lot of different ways.
It's also not waterboarding if you use beer or whiskey. So,
Oh no, at that point it's just party foul, alcohol abuse.
Although I would not want like a fucking sinus full of whiskey. That does not sound like a good time at all.
No.
Yeah, give me the water.
What about Jägermeister?
No, I've had too many fucking bad experiences with the Jägermeister. So like I had a buddy that got killed like in 2010, right? And the only thing he fucking drank was Jägermeister. Like, you can't tell, I'm still a little salty about this. But a month after he dies, we all take a shot of Jägermeister. Fucking 2 months after he dies, we all take 2 shots of Jägermeister. 3 months after he dies, we take 3 shots of Jägermeister, and so on and so forth. So we're just drinking a fucking bottle of Jägermeister every fucking night. And it's like, dude, could you have drank like anything the fuck else? Like, like, dude, what, you're from the fucking sticks, man. Fucking drink Bush or Natty Light. Like, why Jägermeister? And it's like, well, because it had the deer on it, and the deer's cool. It's like, dude, no.
No. No, the last two experiences I had with Jägermeister, the first one I said I'd never touch it again. The second one just confirmed that I would never touch it again.
Oh yeah, but every time you say I'm never going to do something again, that's always just a blatant fucking lie to yourself.
Yeah.
Or at least
Well,
just from me.
Okay, so I got out in '98. Okay, and so I had been dating this dancer, let's say, and she loved Jägermeister. She got me into drinking it, and everybody I worked with at my command, they knew I loved Jägermeister. So the night I was leaving, or the night before I left, I should say, we go out to the bar, and on Guam there was a bar called like Marty's Mexican Cantina or something like that, and they had the best like 32-ounce margaritas on the island. So that's how I started my night off, was with a 32-ounce margarita, and then people started buying me shots. So I'm like, I can't turn down a shot, so cheers,
Yeah, yeah, free booze is free booze.
and exactly. Well, by 10:30 that night, I knew I was in trouble because I was like, I could feel it. I knew I was getting hammered. So I'm like, dude, I got to get away for a little bit. Well, a couple of my buddies were walking down the street to go to the ATM. So I'm going with these guys, you know? So I go with them down to the ATM. Life's good. I walk down there. We walk back. I get back though, and there's like 13 shots lined up on the table for me. I look at the shots. I look at everybody. I'm like, dude, there is no way in hell I am doing all this shit by myself. Y'all are helping me with these. So there we go. Tag team. Boom. Shot for shot, all the way down the line. Um, I did like 6, 7 shots. And that is literally the last thing I remember. Other than at some point we went to Denny's. I ended up on the floor laughing uncontrollably in the middle of Denny's. And this one dude that we worked with, he was a little Samoan guy, but he's strong as shit. Picks me up off the floor, holding me by my shirt. He's like, I forget if he's called me by my first name or my last name, but he's like, dude, I love you, but if you end up on the floor again, I make sure you stay there. I was looking at him like, yes, sir. So he puts me in my seat. Next thing I know, I'm at my buddy's apartment, hugging his toilet. I've got puke all over my hands, puke all over my short or my pants. I'm not even ticked off about that. What I'm mad about is I look down at my pants and I'm like, damn it, these are the pants I was gonna wear on the flight home.
Not anymore.
So, yeah, not anymore. So I get up. I think I go to sleep on his couch for maybe a couple more hours. Get up, and I'm like, oh crap. So I haul ass back to my apartment because I lived off base. I grab all my shit, throw it in the car, haul ass to the airport, check in, haul ass back to base because I was shipping my car back. Big mistake, by the way. Should have just sold the damn thing while I was there.
Yeah, that never works.
Yeah, but so I haul ass back to base. And of course, our XO that we had, he had only been there about 6 months or so. And he had this policy. He wanted to be the one to pick him up and drop him off at the airport. Get you coming and going, basically. So he was there to pick me up, take me to the airport after I dropped off the car. And yeah, I mean, I'm still 3 sheets of wind. And he starts asking me all these questions. Petty Officer Turner, it's a shame that the Navy's going to lose a fine NCO like yourself. Why are you getting out after 4 years? I'm like, well, honestly, after being on Guam for almost 3 years, why the hell would I want to go to a ship? That's just going to suck. I don't want to be on a boat after being on an island. And well, lo and behold, that ended up fucking everybody from that point on. Because I was drunk. I didn't know any better. I just said what was on my mind.
Right.
And he ended up changing policies to where first timers were not to be sent out to that duty station again. So sorry for everybody that tried to go out there after that. 2, anyone that was trying to extend to the end of their enlistment, I think he kind of screwed with them a little bit. So that was kind of a dick move on his part. Yeah. Because that's what I'd ended up doing. I was in A school I was trained to be an aviation electronics tech. Okay. Our A school is 6 months. between breaking my leg in boot camp and then all the bullshit rehab afterwards, so I could
Yeah.
pass the PT test and get on with my life in the Navy. That was like 2 months, 3 months. So by the time I finished up with boot camp, A school, and then a full tour in Guam, I would have only had 11 months left. So whatever the hell, I extended my assignment, I guess you'd say. So instead of being there for only 2 years, I got 2 years, 11 months on Guam.
I have a buddy that was a corpsman, and he was stationed out in Guam. But the way he got married was he invited some chick out there, and
Yep.
they knew each other from before. And he's like, "Hey, come visit me in Guam. Pay for a ticket out, and I pay for your ticket back." So she flew. I was like, "I can't afford a ticket back. Do you want to get married and just stay?"
Oh, shit.
They're still married,
Yeah.
so you know.
And,
Guess it worked out.
Wow, that's ballsy right there.
Yeah, right.
No, God, man, I tell you, there's one time that I was probably that close. I probably could have been the one that married the dancer.
Yeah.
Thankfully, she knew better, and she's like, no, 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 no. For some reason, this chick was awesome. One, she didn't take advantage of me because at that point, when I first went to Guam, I was still a virgin.
Oh.
So I was like that. I was like the 20-something-year-old virgin going out to
Yeah.
Guam, right? And of course, being that guy, totally awkward with women, I ended up, dating dancers. So go figure on that one. But yeah, no, she's like, you know what? I'm not gonna touch you because I don't want to be the one to ruin you. I don't want to be the one to fuck you up. So I was like, damn, okay. So we still gonna be friends? So we were. I ended up moving into her apartment with her. The awesome thing about that story, though, before I moved in, she had another roommate that was a dancer.
Yeah.
Total fucking slob, the roommate. And so when the roommate left, the room that I was going to take over was just dirty as hell. And there's this old Air Force colonel that was all trying to be up in her shit. For some reason, he really liked her. He wanted to impress her. So he did all kinds of things. Like he went to the Philippines, bought her gold jewelry for all of her piercings everywhere.
Good for him.
Yeah, did all kinds of stuff. And every night that she was working, he'd be at the club buying her drinks and all that crap. But she ended up telling him, "Hey, I got a friend that wants to move in with me, but the room is totally trashed from so and so. Think you could help me clean it up?" So this dude comes over, he scrubs every inch of that room, hands and knees, scrub brush everything, cleans up the room. So my E4 ass can move into it.
Yeah, I think that's what the kids call a simp.
So I was like, damn, that was fucking sweet. I got an Air Force colonel to clean a room for me.
Dude, yeah, no, I have a buddy, one of my better friends, who, when he was stationed in Hawaii, one of his buddies drug him to like one of those, I guess local massage parlors, and like quote unquote massage parlor. Like, yeah, okay, you guys get massages, great. Anyway, long story short, he ends up dating this chick, right? Like, smashing for free, and then like, she'd pay to like, go see movies and shit. And he was like, yeah, it was kind of shitty because when I'd go pick her up from work, like some of my Marines be walking out, be like, hey, yeah, and his girlfriend's waving him goodbye. It's like, okay, well, comes with a job or whatever. But he eventually butters her up to the point where he's like, hey, yeah, let's get married and I'll take you back to America and, we'll go do this, that, and whatever. And, we'll be happy and all this shit. So he's like, all right. So, yeah, we're going to go back to America on Tuesday. Monday, he goes to Iraq. Never fucking sees her again.
Damn.
Yeah. But like, when he tells the story, it's a lot worse because he goes like real gritty into like going down on her. I'm like, dude, that's like your buddy totally just okay, dude, whatever makes you happy, man.
Right.
So as it does.
Yeah. Let's see. So while I was in Guam, I ended up I dated three dancers. Okay, yeah. One of them turned out to be a good friend. the other one was a crazy punk rock chick that just, I was so glad when I caught her cheating with the bouncer of the club, because I was like, you know what? Don't let me stop y'all just have fun. I'm gonna go out and clean the car.
Yeah.
And then they left a few minutes later. But another one, this is one that I never could figure out. She swore up and down she was a 178-year-old vampire.
Really?
That was her persona on stage too. She had the
Okay.
bangs. She had the long freaking, Lee press on nails that filed to a point, everything. And yeah, I mean, one day we're sitting out on the beach watching the sun come up, and just part of the conversation, we're talking about high school and all this shit. And for some reason, I decided that was a good time to ask her. So just out of curiosity, how old are you, anyways? Because I think my age came up, so naturally I asked her age.
Right.
And she's like, "Oh, I'm 178." And she's still just staring out the water, watching whatever. And I'm just kind of look at her out of the corner of my eye, like, they didn't even have high schools back 170 something years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I was just like,
Well,
okay, you are
yeah,
psycho.
but like when the sun came up, did she burst into flames and turn into a skeleton?
No.
Oh,
So she must have been more like.
How fucked up would it have been though? How fucked up would it have been though if she was like, "I'm a 178-year-old vampire," and you're like, "Yeah, okay, sure," and you get into an argument, the sun comes up, and she just fucking explodes. Like, oh fuck, I don't know what test I need to get, but it has to happen like right fucking now. I'm going to fucking medical.
Right. They would have just given me the orange fucking pills, and the fucking. I always called them the Navy candy, the 800 milligram ibuprofens.
Yeah.
But yeah. Which, by the way, if you ever hurt your back, take 2 of those and start drinking. Man, you feel no pain.
Yeah, no, fucking. I had I forget what it was. It's kind of like a pinched nerve, but a little bit more severe. Came in and out like fucking. It was like, all right, so like 1 week, like my leg felt like somebody stabbed it. Next week, my back, somebody felt like somebody stabbed it. Moved my arm, neck, whatever. And I got some pills for it, but I had to take like 3 fucking pills every fucking 6 hours, and then like it just kind of sort of alleviated it. But if I had like 2 beers, it fucking went right the fuck away. So I said fuck it to the fucking pills and just started drinking. But
yeah,
that's
how, more or less, that's how I got my tattoo. Was drinking one night. One of my roommates, she wanted to get a tattoo. She wanted to get a tribal armband.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. So we all hop in the car. We head down to this little tattoo shop she wanted to go to, and she knew that I'd been wanting to get a tattoo of an ankh forever. For some reason, I was obsessed with getting this tattoo. I mean, I had it drawn out in my head, exactly how everything would be, and it'd be cool, right?
Right.
So she's like, "Hey, still want to get that tattoo?" And I'm like, I've been thinking about it. Why? Well, someone bought my first tattoo, so I'll just return the favor and I'll buy yours.
Nice. Paying it forward.
Yeah. So I thought about it. I was like, I got nothing better to do. And what else are you going to do while you're in the military? Get fucking tattoos. So I did think about it, though, where the placement. I got it between my shoulders on my back. That way, if I never want to see it again, I don't have to.
Yeah, I have a really bad tattoo on one of my shoulder blades, and I forget it's there unless like we're talking about tattoos. But it's a Japanese demon playing a fucking guitar, and it looks like shit. But I got it in Japan, so it's like, yeah, it's my Japanese demon souvenir guy. What's up, guys?
There you go.
It's cool because I got it in Japan, because that's how you're supposed to get tattoos in Japan, right? Right?
Exactly.
Never mind that it sucks. I got it in Japan.
You got it in Japan. That's what's important.
That's how it works.
And when it was all done, were you like, doitashimate?
No, I was like, dude, here's your fucking money. I'm out. I was also like really fucking hungover.
Oh God, there you go. Well, I mean, isn't that what you're supposed to be when you're in Japan, though?
Yeah, no, fucking. So, like, was it the night before? Like, we'd just gotten off ship, right? At most, we'd been off ship for a week, and me and one of my buddies, my buddy Chuck, that night. Now we were being generous with handing out other drinks to people, but like we went through a bottle of Maker's Mark, a bottle of gin, and then a bottle of Jack Daniels, and then a handle of Jack Daniels. And we drank most of it, but we were handing other shit out. And then we're like, dude, let's go get fucking matching tattoos tomorrow. And I tried to wake him up the next morning. He's like, no, the sun is evil. I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. Fucking, I know you literally can't right now. So like I found the next, hey, dude, you want to get tattoos? He's like, yeah. And I don't even remember that dude's name. So me and this other dude have matching tattoos, and I don't fucking. Although his is better looking than mine because his artist did a better job. But you know,
gotcha. Yeah, you know, Japan's one place I wish I'd gotten to go to and walked around a little bit. You know, seen the sights a little. But now my experience with Japan was flying from Guam, or actually flying into Guam. You know, you come from stateside, you hit Tokyo, and then Narita, and then you fly into Guam. Well, flying back was the same thing. Well, on the way home, even though I was still hungover, I was still nice, right? You know, because you know, people are, you know, they got their jobs, right? You just got to not be a dick about it. Of course, there's this American dude. I know he's American because he was quite blunt about saying, well, I'm an American and I travel all the time, and you people are stupid. I can't believe I'm getting treated like this. Blah, blah, blah. You're supposed to be such nice people over here. He was just being a jackass.
Yeah, sounds like a dick.
On and on. Yeah. I don't even know what the hell it was. It's like the ticket counter agent or some shit. So after and the whole time this lady, because they teach you how to smile when you're in customer service in Japan, or Asia in general, they all have that same smile, right? And so after she's done dealing with him, she looks at me and I can tell that she's like, fuck, another American. So I walk up and I'm like, I am so sorry about that. Am I in the right place? Cool, thank you very much. Have a good day, you know. And I was out, but yeah.
Domo arigato.
Yeah, it's amazing how arrogant people can be sometimes, and unfortunately, it's us that are usually the arrogant ones.
Yeah, no, like I try to be polite when I'm in places. I am having a big problem with that in school though, because like, you know, it's required that we take 3 semesters of a fucking language, and it's like, all right, hey, look, I've had my feet on the ground in every fucking time zone. The only people I've met on the planet that don't speak English are Mexicans and Taliban. And I've been like in like, when I say that, I mean like there was like 6-year-old orphans with mental disabilities in fucking Singapore that knew enough English to fucking communicate. I don't need a fucking language to. Oh, but I have to for the major. All right, sure, fine, fuck it, double me up.
Yep.
I'll take something easy. So yeah, like of the options, it was like, what is it? It was like German, French, Spanish, Russian, Chinese, or Mandarin Chinese. I don't think they had. What's the other one? Cantonese.
Yeah,
like Mandarin, and then like 2 other ones. And I was like, all right, so out of this, I'm not learning a new fucking alphabet, so that takes half of this out because fuck that. And then out of this, that whittles it down to Spanish, French, Italian, and German. And it's like, well, Germany's got the best like music out of those, and I can justify fucking. I'm gonna go learn this language so I understand what the fuck Rammstein's talking about. How about that?
There you go. Absolutely. Now,
which, by the way, fucking like if you actually read their fucking lyrics and know what the fuck they're talking about, they're fucking dark, like dark. Like I kind of thought it was dark because it was like, oh, this is heavy metal. It's like, no, this song's about, you know, this guy and his kid, and they're on an airplane in a lightning storm, and like the kid's really scared, so the dad's hugging him to make him feel better, and they think they're gonna crash. There's a lot of turbulence, but then the turbulence lets up, and it turns out the plane's gonna be fine. But because the dad was so scared, he accidentally suffocated and killed his kid. And it's like, dude, the fuck, man.
Damn. That's some brutal shit right there.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of Russian, I'm going to pop into YouTube, whatever, here on this one. Have you ever heard the joke, the comedian that does a joke about being the machine?
Yeah. Yeah, his name's Bert something. I forget what it was, but you know, that guy was like Van Wilder was his like memoirs from college, and then fucking National Lampoons like fucked him over and stole it from him.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. But yes, he's the machine. He fucks cats.
Oh, God, there's another one I was going to bring up while we're talking about Germany. It's gone. Like a squirrel moment, man.
Oh yeah, no, fucking the thing with them that like I like to bring up, which isn't a popular opinion, by the way. But like we totally, well, what by we I mean like the United States, Britain, and France totally fucked Germany on both those fucking wars afterwards, and just let Austria off, even though Austria started both of them. Because World War I started off between Austria invading Serbia, and then because of the way treaties were, everyone went to war against each other, and everyone forgets about Austria because the main, I guess, bad guy in that was Germany because they were the military power in the alliance. And then in World War II, yeah, you could say Germany, but Hitler was from Austria, and we just let Austria off the fucking hook for that.
Yeah,
fuckers.
Absolutely.
There's your history lesson for the day.
All right. I feel educated. Thank you. So, sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
You are big into the whole Star Trek realm, right?
Yeah.
So, Star Trek fans or Trekkies, what's the official term for Star Wars people? Is it Warsies?
I don't know.
Kind of a.
I don't know if there is like a term for Star Trek nerds. I think that they just skip that and go straight to Jedi. Like there are some, but there's not that many Trekkies that are like, yes, I am part of the Klingon Empire. But like the Star Wars fans just fucking skip it and go straight to fucking, yes, I'm Jedi or I'm Sith or I'm Mandalorian or whatever,
Yeah. I was talking about that with a customer of mine because when I'm not podcasting, I still have to pay bills. So I do like handyman remodeling, right?
Yeah.
And so this lady is a big time Star Trek fan. And kind of like you, she says she's got the models of all the fucking, of all the ships, from the original series on through Voyager. And it's like I asked her that question, and she's like, and I like Star Wars, but I don't think they've got, no one knows what do you call Star Wars fanatic?
Yeah, no, that's an interesting question. I don't think I've ever heard that asked before.
And I could swear that I've heard it somewhere where it might have been a random like Reddit post or some crap where they said, "Oh, Star Wars fans are Warsies" or some shit that I don't know.
That one was like that kind of sounds dumb though. Like I don't think that would be a. You think it might be a new word they'd make for it, like new sound with your face hole. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Anyway.
Yeah. Now the other thing with like Star Wars though is like fucking. I used to fucking love Star Wars when I was a kid, but there was also like back then you had the original trilogy, like animated movie, and then the fucking Ewok movies, which no one fucking remembers nowadays. And then like I was excited when like I was excited when the prequel trilogy came out, but like they're unwatchably bad now. And I don't get the whole fucking argument. It's like, which trilogy's better? I'm like, dude, there's only one that you can like sit down and actually watch. Like, I don't know how this is a fucking argument. But if we're going to consider the original, or not the original, but the prequel trilogy fucking canon, you're also getting the fucking Ewok movies, motherfucker. And the fucking holiday special, and you're not going to fucking shove that shit out.
Now, that is the one. I remember all the Ewoks. I only remember seeing the holiday special one time.
It's on YouTube.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Check that out.
Yeah, fucking, what is it? I remember George Lucas tried to get all the copies of it and burn them because he thought it was that bad. But, I know the internet wasn't around back then, but the internet does what the internet does, and it found itself on the fucking internet. And now we can watch it in all its fucking terrible ingloriousness.
Well, as a kid, though, you're like, oh my God, this is great, because you're seeing Star Trek characters or Star Wars characters. But as an adult, it's like, did we actually watch this crap? What the hell?
Yeah, well, I mean, like with Star Trek though, or Star Wars though, like you can get a stick and go outside and pretend you have a fucking lightsaber. Like you can't play Star Trek. Like what are you gonna do? Like sit in your chair in your fucking living room and be like, all right, Scotty, fire the torpedoes.
Right.
That was a terrible impersonation, by the way. I'm sorry, William Shatner, if you ever see this.
Yeah. No, there was for the Star Wars. I remember for the longest time because I'm actually old enough that I saw it on network TV for the holiday special. I'm like, man, there's a thing out there that I'm missing, right? And I don't remember what it is, but I remember seeing it, and then found out it was the holiday special. I'm like, all right. But I remember when the first Ewok movie came out and they released it on broadcast television.
Yeah.
It was such a big deal. One of the radio stations broadcast the audio so you could turn on your stereo at home and listen to it in stereo on your big speakers because nobody had home theater systems, hooked up to the TV at that point.
That's
and so
cool.
yeah, you tune in some radio station and they were broadcasting the audio for the show. So I was like, whoa, this is the coolest thing ever. And yeah, because I'm an old fuck, so
yeah, no, I kind of rediscovered those probably about 10 years ago because I forgot they existed. And there was a scene from one of them that I remembered seeing. And for whatever reason, I remembered it being part of the Neverending Story. So I was like, let me go check that out. So I went to go rewatch the Neverending Story. I'm like, nah, it didn't happen in this. Neverending Story 2. Nope, didn't happen in this either. Where the fuck did this come from? And then I saw something random about the Caravan of Courage on the internet. And I was like, the fuck is that? Star Wars Ewoks. I don't remember this. So I get into it and I watch them. Oh, yeah. That's what that scene was.
That was it. All right, so now let's jump ship from Star Wars though. Star Trek.
Star Trek.
I'm pissed off at CBS for putting that shit, all the new stuff on this their paid network because I think it's bullshit. But 2, have you watched Star Trek Renegades?
No, I don't think I've heard of Renegades.
Renegades was supposed to have been 10 years after Voyager gets back to Earth, right?
Yeah.
And they made a pilot movie. It's supposed to be a more of an episode, but it ended up being like an hour and a half long, so it's a movie.
Yeah.
So they made the pilot movie, and it actually wasn't too bad. The graphics sucked. It's got Jesus, now I'm drawing a blank on who the hell is in it. Oh, Chekhov. Chekhov is in it. He's an admiral now.
Nice.
And yeah, there's a subsect of the Federation that is Starfleet Command that's like totally jacked up. They're hell bent on destroying everything. And so him and a group of renegades are the only ones that can save him. Now, what's interesting about it is they've got Chekhov in it, right? They've also got the Doctor from Voyager plays a role. They've got Icheb from Voyager. He's in it. Put on a few pounds, but still okay. They've got Jake Sisko from DS9. He plays a role, and he's Jake.
Yeah.
The chick that played the Trill chick, the first one, Dax, Jadzia. She's in it, but she's not as a Trill. She just has a role.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of.
I mean, they recycle actors a lot in that too.
Yes, they do.
Because like what Gene Roddenberry's wife was like the voice of the computer, and Loxana Troy, and the yeoman from the original series.
Mm-hmm. And God, the guy that played Tran, he's been on multiple characters throughout DS9 and DS9 Voyager and fucking Enterprise. But anyways, no, Renegades. It's kind of cool. They've got the movie and they've got one episode that they made. I think they've actually got 1 or 2 more episodes. They did it as part of a Kickstarter deal. And
when did it come out?
What's that?
When did this come out?
Renegades, the movie was like 2015. You can find that on YouTube. Same with the first episode that was supposed to be part of the series. That one, and they got fucking Chakotay is in it too. He's like a bartender.
Relatively recently, then.
Yeah, it's well, like 2017, 2018, something like that. In 2019, they did a Kickstarter to try to get the next 2 episodes made.
Right.
And they got funding, they made them, but you could only see them if you did the thing with the Kickstarter deal.
That
And
sucks.
yeah, and what's really a pisser on it is they let it play until like August 23rd of this year, where you could find it on YouTube through a link that they had in the Kickstarter program.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's disappeared until they get ready to release everything. So it's like,
well, I mean, if they plan on releasing everything at some point anyway, then I guess it's not too terrible. But speaking of Kickstarter movies, have you ever seen Kung Fury?
no.
So pretty much what happened was they made like a, I don't know, like 2-minute quote unquote preview for a movie. And, it's kind of like the buzz for the Kickstarter. And like that one video went fucking viral, like shit, maybe 10 years ago now. And then they made a half-hour long movie as a proof of concept. And they're expanding that to a full-length movie that should be coming out in the next year or two. And like the original, like I guess proof of concept for Kung Fury, which is awesome. You should fucking watch it. It's on Netflix and just on YouTube still. Like they made it in their fucking basement and just green screened the fuck out of everything, and it still
Really?
looked fucking great. And then like the new movie that's coming out is big enough to where like Schwarzenegger's in it. But pretty much the premise is there's this cop, and he was regular fucking beat cop or whatever. And him and his partner were chasing down this like kung fu ninja guy, and the kung fu ninja guy cut his partner in half, like just straight up sliced him in half. And he was about to kill the main cop too, but before he could, the cop got struck by lightning and bitten by a cobra and became the chosen one. So right. Like immediately after that, he just like destroys this guy, but then he ends up going around being an undercover detective, driving his fucking Countach around fucking Miami in the 80s. And at some point, there's this like renegade, what do you call like arcade machine that goes around fucking killing people. So, he shows up and he's like fist fighting this arcade machine, even though the arcade machine has like Uzis. And after he kills it, it breaks it down. Like it sets on fire, and like all the fucking like the paper on the side like peels off. There's like a swastika under it. He's like, that looks familiar. So like he has to like go back to like the cop computer to like type in a swastika. He's like, who? Yeah, the Nazis. I knew it was them. I have to go back in time to kill Hitler. So like he gets somebody to like he doesn't have a time machine, right? So while he's trying to figure it out, he has one of his buddies trying to hack time to send him back. And then while he does that, like Hitler shows up in like 1980 fucking 4 or whatever, and like calls the police chief, and then like puts his gun in the phone and starts shooting up the police.
Oh my god!
Thing through the fucking phone. So Kung Fury has his buddy hacking back into time, but he goes too far back in time, back to the Viking Age. And the reason he knows he's in the Viking Age is the first thing he runs into is a laser raptor, and apparently that was a Viking Age thing. And he's saved by these like chicks in metal bikinis with like miniguns, and then he ends up going back to like 1945 to fight Kung Fury.
Mm-hmm. Oh god!
And then at the end, him and his new partner Triceracop end up saving the day.
Excellent.
And then what is it? The guy that played Hitler was one of the dudes from Lonely Island.
From where?
Lonely Island. They start off as like a Saturday Night Live thing. Yeah, them. Yeah, like
okay.
rap guys. Yeah.
Gotcha. Jesus, what is it? There's a movie that got made. It's like, I don't know, Nazis in space or some crap. Like the Nazis have a moon.
Iron Sky. Iron Sky.
There you go. Yeah. God, that was.
That movie was gold.
From the cheesy B-side movie, it was pretty good. Or I liked it.
Yeah, no, they made a second one, but I haven't found it to watch it yet.
Oh wow.
Which I'm not really quite sure what to do with that, but yeah.
Now, if you want to talk about really jacked up movies, sorry, If you want to talk about jacked up movies, there is one. It is, God, it's like right there, man, right fucking there.
Well, while you're brainstorming on that, did you watch
Yeah.
Ash versus Evil Dead?
Was that like a new one, or are you just talking about Evil Dead in general?
Okay, so they made a TV show called Ash versus Evil Dead, and it's like Ash, and he's like, fucking however the fuck old he was in like 2015, and he's got like a robot hand, and he hooks up with like one of his like buddies from work, and then some other random chick, and they go around fighting demons in nowadays, and like what is it? Lucy Lawless is the bad guy in it, and they did a fucking banger job on it. Like it's everything you fucking wanted it to be. Because like remember they remade The Evil Dead like fucking 10 years ago and it sucked. They just like continued on with the story, and it was one of the few instances where it's like, all right, so we're gonna make a sequel TV show 30 years later, and we'll see if you guys like it. And normally those things are fucking terrible.
Right.
But they fucking like everything you wanted to happen fucking happened. There was every level of fucking fan service and plot twist, and they just fucking killed it.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah. Like there's one point in it where Bruce Campbell loses his fucking hand, like his robot hand. And he gets another one. He's like, hey, it's a brand spanking new hand. Or a brand new spanking hand.
Whichever way you want to use it.
Yeah.
But let's see. All right, so I never could get into Battlestar Galactica. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that one that you get into?
I saw it a long time ago once. I can say that I've seen it. I can't tell you that I remember anything about it.
Okay.
I'm on that with it. Like I remember a few characters' names, and I remember what happened at the end. But
now my wife was telling me, weren't the Cylons basically just humans, but from like the future or some crap?
I don't remember that. I do remember that at the end of their like journey, they finally get to their new home that they've been searching for, and that new home ends up being Earth. And then something happens where like they lose all their technology, and then they were like what seeded mankind on the planet, like the ancient aliens fucking type scenario. So yeah, I couldn't see why the Cylons wouldn't be.
All right. Oh, speaking of ancient aliens and stuff, you ever watch Prometheus?
Yeah. However, I got drugged to the movie theater when I saw that, and I didn't know what the fuck it was, and I didn't realize that it was an Aliens prequel till like halfway into it, and then I was like, wait a minute, this is Aliens. Like what? that big thing in the fucking cave. That's the big fucking thing from the Aliens thing. Oh, and that's Weyland-Yutani. Holy fucking shit! Yeah. But I enjoyed it. I had a buddy on here about a month ago, and she went on a fucking rampage about how fucking terrible those movies were. I'm like, oh, well, I just liked Aliens. Go, but all right, look into it. My bad.
But no, I like the beginning where the dude's like, I don't know, he's like falling apart or some shit, and he like dissolves into the water, and that's I guess what supposedly seeded humanity.
Right.
Just randomness.
Yeah, no, but like that was interesting, but at the same time, it didn't make sense because what is it? So he kills himself to like seed humanity, but then like at that point, like we would have just been protein fucking acids in water, which I guess if that's like the right compound to like make humanity, that's great. But if no one ever came back because they hated humanity so much, why were there cave paintings pointing to certain stars? Depicting these people saying, hey, look, these are where those people are.
Hard that part. We don't know. But we don't know yet. We haven't been there.
I fucking guess. Yeah, that kind of goes back to the fucking Zachariah Sitchin shit where, like, I don't know if you've ever read, oh shit, what do they call them? Like the 10th planet and all that shit, where his whole thing is like the ancient Sumerian gods were actually fucking aliens, and we were created as a slave race to like mine gold for the 10th planet's atmosphere because it didn't have the right chemicals in it to like sustain heat and life and all that shit. And like one of the things he points to is like on Sumerian like architecture and like whatever their version of hieroglyphics are, there's like 10 planets and they're all about equal size to what they should be proportionally like in the fucking shit. And it's like, why were they talking about Pluto when we didn't know what the fuck Pluto was till like the 1900s?
What if Stargate Atlantis isn't that far off with the rate?
I mean, could be.
I mean, population-wise, we're getting to be about 7 billion plus people on the planet.
Yeah, getting close to 8. Yeah, no.
And then you've got those people that are like, oh no, we need to cut our population back to like 5 million people.
I don't know. Fucking there's this thing I was watching and read into it a little bit. The dude's name's Hans something. He's some Swedish etymologist, and he was doing the math on it, and he had a pretty convincing argument for how the human population is probably going to plateau at about 12 billion people ish in like 50 years. But that's going to be okay because like we should be able to fucking sustain ourselves at that point. Because like one of the reasons the population growth is booming the way it is because well, I guess the main factor is negating preventable diseases. Like people aren't dying of polio when they're fucking 3 anymore. Like women survive childbirth, and like like back in the day, you'd have fucking 12 kids and like 3 of them would survive, and then the other 9 would just be like, all right, well, hey, that didn't work out. Sorry, but now, well, not now, but like 80s, 90s. Fucking, we got to the point where like, hey, listen, we're gonna keep all fucking 12 of these kids. However, even in the fucking third world and very undeveloped countries, they are still spreading fucking the education on this. And I think like most countries in like South Asia and even Africa, they've whittled it down to where even with all this preventable maintenance shit, like they're still only having 2 or 3 kids. The average mother under the age of like 30 or 40, I think 40. The average mother under the age of 40 on the planet has like 2.5 kids right now. So like that's gonna fucking even itself out. We should hang out at about 10 billion once we get there. And the people that talk about not having the resources for it, it's like, yeah, we don't have the resources for it right now, but that's only because of poor planning. Like once we like take industrial farming to like I don't know, Africa and South America, like it'll be all right, because like a lot of those fucking places, like they're still using a fucking plow. They're like actually working the fields by their hands, and they're only making food for like their village, but there's still a lot of like undeveloped land that can be developed for agriculture. And the whole like overpopulation I guess freak out hype, it's not unjustified. It's just coming from an undereducated point or an uneducated point of view on it.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, there we go. Let's see. What else can we talk about?
So I don't not believe in Bigfoot. I don't not believe in Bigfoot. I never really did believe in Bigfoot. However, I was reading up on some stuff, and there used to be another Bigfoot type creature in Africa, right? Like it was documented as like the swamp ape or whatever, like as way back as the ancient Greeks were talking about legends of this like hairy ape man that lived down in the jungle, and no one could ever prove that it was there until I think it was like 1912 when we discovered gorillas.
Really?
Yeah, we didn't know what the fuck a gorilla was till 1912. So when I found that, I was like, wait a minute. So Bigfoot might actually fucking be a thing. Like, yeah, we haven't ever actually seen it or found it, but people were having these rumors about this fucking cryptid in like Sudan, which is like right under fucking Egypt, which is right outside of where civilizations have been. since I don't know 10,000 BC, and no one's ever like put a name to this fucking thing or acknowledged that it fucking existed until like 1910. Okay, do you know what? I'll buy that. There is probably a fucking Bigfoot. We haven't fucking found it yet. Like, especially with where it lives. Like, it lives like the Pacific Northwest, where is, fucking goddamn, what the fuck is in the Pacific Northwest? Washington, Oregon, and Nova Scotia. And outside of the fucking cities there, it's just like dense fucking forest for fucking miles. So like it very well may be out there.
And why is it that every culture on the planet has their myth of Bigfoot, Yeti?
So the thing with why every culture has that is because there was this thing called Australopithecus, which was pretty much what you would describe a Bigfoot as. And that thing didn't go extinct until like fucking 12,000 years ago. Mm-hmm. So it died off before we started writing, but we already had cities and were doing agriculture and like brewing beer and making statues and shit. So it lived with us, like kind of like the same as like a saber-toothed tiger or a woolly mammoth, right? So that's probably why. Same thing with like Noah's Ark and like the flood. Like every culture has a flood myth, and there's traditional science will tell you that like the ice caps melted, and it took like 500 years for everything to like recede because like back in the day like Ireland was part of mainland Europe, right? Like there was a land bridge between India and Australia, like just all shit there. And like, no matter where you were at, like the sea level was, not the sea level, the coastline was about 50 to 100 miles out from where it is now. There's more and more evidence coming out that the Ice Age didn't end over the course of 500 years, that it may have happened in a fucking week. And if you look at where the human population is, especially back then, people live next to the fucking ocean because you can put your back to the wall. It's easy to defend. Oh, and there's fish there that we can eat. Now, imagine that almost all of the civilizations on the planet are almost out in the middle of the fucking Atlantic or somewhere between Japan and Australia right now. And then in the course of a fucking week, all that shit fucking just gets wiped out. So A, you get your flood myth from there, but B, fucking, I think Plato was talking about it. He talks about somebody going and talking to a Egyptian priest, and fucking Greece got fucked up in that because, like, how Greece is like you have the main peninsula, but then there's also an archipelago. That all used to be land. Like there wasn't a Mediterranean Ocean. It was like this big fucking valley. And then one day the Straits of or the Pillars of Hercules fucking collapse. The whole thing fucking gets flooded. Egypt's fine because it's a little bit higher up. Greece just fucking gets destroyed. And then some Egyptian priest is telling Plato, he's like, hey, yeah, listen, we remember this shit. We know you don't because of this and that. And this happened 448 fucking 100 years ago. And if you look at that time frame lines up where the new science is saying this is probably when everything flooded. So that also goes into the fucking Atlantis thing.
So so you're saying the ice caps melted in a week, or everything froze over in a week?
No, everything melted in a week. Because think about it, like you got these ice caps, or not the ice caps, but like these glaciers. And these glaciers back in the day, like granted, it was a little bit further out in some places than it wasn't ever, but like imagine that the North Pole, like the ice cap up there, came down to fucking China pretty much in Asia, or down to oh god, I don't know, like Missouri maybe. And then like we don't know what happened. Probably a comet hit something like around the North Pole, fucking melted everything, and then stuff would start to melt, and then once it hit a breaking point, everything just flooded out after that. So like imagine like you had the ice cap, right? And then like you had something hit, and like it built like an ocean on top of the ice, on top of these glaciers. And these glaciers were like 5 miles tall, and then you get this ocean just hanging out on top of those, and then one little bit melts enough to have this dam fucking break, and then all this fucking water just flows out all over the fucking planet. And the thing about water is it doesn't absorb energy, right? So like no matter what you do, there's going to be effect on what you can do with water. Like, and you could do this like in your bathtub, fill it up, fucking yay tall, put your finger in it on one end, and those ripples are going to go to the other end and fucking bounce back. So everything just like massive fucking tsunamiing all over the entire fucking planet. And fucking there could have been a civilization collapse in a fucking afternoon if you want to look at it like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I'm just waiting for the super volcano.
Dude, that could happen. Like, what is it? I think it was 1815. Fucking Krakatoa exploded, and it put so much ash into the fucking atmosphere that there wasn't a summer that next year. Like, Krakatoa was in like it's in Sumatra, so it's in Indonesia, and they heard that shit in Africa. Yeah, big shit. Like fucking that's the other thing though, is like we're really fucking lucky to be here because the universe does not care. Our planet is trying to kill us on its own. And I think it's funny people are like, oh yeah, hey, so what do you think about global warming? And I'm like, well, I mean, are we contributing to it? Yeah, probably. But on top of us, whether we're contributing to it or not, the planet's kind of getting hotter on its own because we're also coming out of a ice age. And it could kill us at any fucking point. Like, what is it? When Yellowstone is supposed to blow up at some point, when that does, fucking, there's not going to be anybody fucking left. Like, that's going to immediately kill everybody on the fucking West Coast, and the rest of the planet's going to be a nuclear winter for at least 5 fucking years. Like, I hope that you are fucking storing baked beans and fucking MREs in your basement because you're going to fucking need them.
Honestly, at that point, we're all just so screwed that, I mean, okay, even if things thawed out after that 5 years, plant life is devastated.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care how many seeds you got up in a freaking seed bank in Norway or Sweden or wherever the hell it's at. You're not going to be able to repopulate everything that quickly to save anybody.
Yeah. Well, the thing about that though is like germination's a fucking big fucking problem because like you have to like really take care of fucking plants to like make them grow if you want them to, especially if they're not in their native environment. However, if we can figure out a way to eat fucking dandelions, that'd be fucking great because those motherfuckers will grow out of fucking concrete, like or out of your fucking gutter.
Well, I thought dandelions are edible.
I mean, I know you can eat like the head of the flowery yellow part, but like I don't think that's super nutritious.
Yeah. Hold on one second. Hey, Cindy, what part of the dandelion can you eat? Everything? Like stalk, the leaves, the roots? Yeah. My wife's telling me that you can eat every bit of a dandelion.
Oh, well, hey, there you go. All you gotta do is fucking eat dandelions.
Yeah. Well,
it's not gonna be very nutritious, but,
So my wife, she used to suffer from gallstone attacks.
Oh, that sucks.
Because, she had major gallbladder issues. They ended up taking it out. But before she got it removed, there was a point where we were actually in Brazil. I had one of the jobs I got to travel around a lot, right? And it was after the Navy. And anyway, so we're in Brazil during Carnival, of all things. And she's getting like these gallstone attacks like every other day. And when it hits, it would just knock her out for hours. Like she'd be in the shower, hot water hitting her, just crying on the floor in the shower. Yeah. And so in all our research, we found out that there's this one plant growing in Brazil, of all places, that it grows everywhere, but it's a weed, and it was quite plentiful in Brazil. And you could find it on the damn sidewalks, growing out of the cracks. And there was something about that plant. What was that? Chunca pedra, something like that. Yeah. And there's some compound in it that would help ease issues of gallbladder.
Huh, that's kind of interesting.
Oh, it makes you expel the gallstone.
Oh,
and yeah, it's just a freaking weed growing in the sidewalk. But of course, we're looking at it, we're like, yeah, I don't know, you want to eat that though, And finally, we found things.
Well, hey, when you're hungry enough, food's food.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, what is it? Matt in the comments saying volcanic soil is extremely fertile for plant life, which, yeah, I have no doubt about that. However, I guess the issue would be like the ash in the atmosphere blocking the sun so that photosynthesis doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But, But I mean, like there are plants that grow at night. Like you can do that. Fucking one of the tricks. Yeah, one of the tricks I learned though is like to figure out if a plant's poisonous or not. Like break it in half to where like you get like the mushy little bit and like rub it on your skin. And then like if you get an allergic reaction to it, it is probably not safe to eat. And then if you don't, then you won't. However, I don't think that's a 100% thing. But I mean,
well, think about this. Think about all the plants that are poisonous unless you cook them. And then once you cook them, then you can eat them and they're 100% edible.
What plant is that? I don't think I know that there's meat like that. I don't know about plants.
Mm-hmm. Again, I'm going to refer to my wife on this one. Hey, Mama. All right. Name a plant that if you don't cook it, it's poisonous. And yucca like that? You don't want to eat it?
Underground greenhouses are a thing. So,
yeah, yucca. Yucca, of all things, very edible if you cook it. If you don't cook it, they'll kill you dead. Or at least make you so sick that you wish you weren't.
I guess that's fair enough. Matt was saying that there are underground greenhouses, which, yeah, that is a thing, but like that's something you got to prep for on the front end. Speaking of stuff you rub on your skin to make you fucking sick or not, though, I had a buddy that made some bad decisions in the barracks, and
those are all good stories, though.
Yeah, no, he ended up hooking up with this chick, right? And like he just came back from the field, like they're kind of flirty or whatever, and then like this dude was also like super innocent, like whatever the step down from Mennonite is, like didn't know what a fucking burrito was when he got to the fleet. But what is it? He ends up hooking up with this chick, and a couple days later, he's freaking the fuck out because she called him fucking like screaming at him because she had no idea what the fuck disease that he gave her. And then he's like breaking the fuck out too. Like he looks like fucking somebody kicked him out of a fucking semi truck naked and just got like his skin shoot up, right? And I'm like, dude, I don't know if that's an STD. That might be something else. Let's go to fucking medical because he's like one of my junior Marines. And we go to medical, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, it's poison oak. Sometimes it takes a few days to show up after you get exposed to it." And I'm like, "Oh, so you gave this chick poison oak inside her fucking? You're going to hell, man. That's up."
That is horrible.
Yeah.
See, I am highly allergic to poison oak. Poison oak, poison ivy, sumac, whatever.
Oh no, like the bumps looked like fucking strawberries. It was bad.
Yeah.
On both of them.
Now, you want to know something? It's kind of a sick pleasure in a sense. But if I do get poison ivy, I usually end up getting it everywhere. My forearms will just be plastered with it. But if you've got it that bad and you hop into a hot shower, it itches with such intensity that you just want to rip your skin off. But if you don't scratch it, it's just like it's almost
like sucks all the goop out.
Oh no, it doesn't suck. It doesn't suck out. And it's totally bad to do that because it can actually help it spread because oil is it can spread very easily. But there's just something about the nerves because your arm's already jacked up, and when that hot water hits, scratch the crap out of it. But if you don't, stand there, take it. Oh man, it's a guilty pleasure. I gotta say, I don't look forward to it, but if I get it, then I'm like, well, I already got it.
Kind of like popping a zit. Like a zit fucking hurts, but then like once you like let it fucking like boil a little bit, like like maybe take some like Coke or Pepsi and like just rub the sugar on it so it gets bigger, and then like once it's got like 3 fucking heads, you just like push it out, and then it like blows through the place. Dude, no, fucking. So this was a fucking hot minute ago. But my at the time girlfriend, fucking, we were, she came in to fucking visit me. We're in some hotel in Oceanside, and after we get done, fucking whatever, I got to take a shower, and I come out, I'm like, hey, so, I just found this thing on my dick. Not trying to like freak you out or anything, but I got this like thing growing, and like I'm like freaking out because like I haven't banged anybody recently. Like, why the fuck would I have herpes or anything? She's like, oh no, that's an ingrown hair. I'm like, oh cool. And then without warning, she grabs my fucking shaft and like does the squeeze thing and like blows all the fucking pus out and pulls the hair. Dude, I had a crater about this fucking big on my fucking dick after that. And then I'm like on the ground fucking screaming because like, that fucking hurt. And it's like, hey, quit being a pussy. That was all the time. I'm like, what do you mean that was all the time? She's like, well, when you shave your stuff, sensitive skin. I'm like, I'm like 23, so like I'm like, bad times. Yeah, fucking.
I will say something similar happened to me once.
What's up?
Something like that happened to me once. One day, my wife and I were doing what we're doing, and I have to be somewhat selective. There's kids in the room, but so we're doing what we're doing, and she touches something. It turns out it was an ingrown hair or a pimple. I don't know what the hell, but it was down on the shaft, and I almost came unglued. I was like, "What the hell did you just do to me?" And she's like, "What? What?" So we look, and sure enough, and it's like, "Oh God!"
Like, give me some fucking warning, dude. Right? Like, just say, hey, I'm about to do this. Like, at least the doctor tells you what he's gonna do before he sticks his finger in your ass.
Thankfully, I've not had that yet.
What?
Thankfully, I've not had that yet.
Oh yeah, dude. Like my hemorrhoids look like the fucking brain bug from Starship Troopers. Like, yeah, dude, it's bad. Dude, no, I mean, like sometimes it's not too bad because, like, I remember one time I went and I'm like, hey, listen, I got something wrong. I'm bleeding out of holes I shouldn't be bleeding out of. And they're like, oh, well, what about the symptoms? This, and that. I'm like, yeah, that might be colon cancer. All right, take your pants down. I'm gonna lube up this finger and go check out your fucking butthole. So Department of the Navy, I just bend over and spread my ass cheeks. And they're like, oh yeah, no, never mind. Those are hemorrhoids. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, oh yeah, dude, like I don't have to stick my finger in your ass. It's different. I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Not all doctors have been like that. Fucking the VA is all about like, well, let's just fucking double check. Yeah, it's hemorrhoids. Although I will tell you, fucking, I had a colonoscopy. I think that's what it is, where they stick the camera up your ass. Yeah. Had that fucking a year or two ago. Same reason, because it's like, hey, dude, I'm shitting a lot of fucking blood right now. You guys want to make sure I don't have cancer or anything? Yeah, no, not cancer, just this or that or whatever. The roids, but fucking they're like, all right, listen, so we pumped you full of drugs so you didn't feel anything and you're gonna be a little loopy. I know you haven't eaten in 3 days because we wanted you to be clean for this, but don't eat for another 12 hours so that your body can readjust to whatever after the anesthesia. I'm like, all right, cool. So get in the car with my wife. I'm like, hey, listen, there's this badass fucking burrito place like right down the fucking street. And dude, fucking, I'm just telling you right now, fucking good Mexican food with an anesthesia fucking high.
Wow.
So whenever you do get old to the point where like the doctor just shoves shit up your ass, burritos are fucking great immediately after that. They don't stay in your system long, but good coming in, good coming out, and then like sleep off the fucking hangover. It'll be all right.
There you go. God. Now, my wife, every time I'm like, hey, time for that yearly checkup at the VA. She's like, are they going to give you the finger check? I'm like, no. Last time I went, I talked to them about that. They said not till I'm 50 unless I've got issues. So I'm 46 right now. I've got a few more years to go yet.
Yep, 4 more years, motherfucker. Then you're joining the club, whether you like it or not.
I know. I'm not looking forward to it, but hey,
Yeah, it's not bad. It's like fucking 8 seconds. Like, no. Imagine someone else picking your nose a little bit, just a little bit uncomfortably, but it's not really that much more invasive than that, except for it's a knuckle or two deeper.
Gotcha.
And like, you as men, you don't want to fucking talk about that, but it's like, well, I stick my thumb in my wife's ass, so I mean, like, all the doctor, fuck it. I probably
I've got the perfect,
whatever.
I have the perfect fork for that. I don't know if you can see that. This came from a fast food restaurant like this.
Shocker.
I know. I was like, oh my God, I got to hold on to that. That's perfect.
Dude, no, I am bad.
Anyway.
I am bad with forks. Like I went to a wedding last week, and during the reception, like I'm already fucking hammered, right? And I just go around because like I don't know what it was, but like I was eating dinner. I was like, this is a really nice fork. So I finish eating, I wipe it off, I put it in my fucking breast pocket, and I keep walking. And then like we go talk to some fucking people, and then like I notice they're done eating, so I grab a fork and rub it off, put it in my fucking pocket. I had like fucking 14 forks, and then my wife's like, put this fucking fork back. I'm like, God damn it. So like I put all the forks back except for one. I kept one fork.
I don't know what it is about my in-laws. They have like 20 million spoons and like 5 forks. I don't know why. I don't know what to do about it. It's just 20 million spoons, 5 freaking forks.
Well, I mean, like, what can you do about that? Well, the other thing too, and I don't know, this might be a weird me thing, but do you have a favorite fork? Because I have a favorite fucking fork. Like I got one that's like just a little bit shorter than the rest of them, and it's got like a notch in it that like somebody dropped it or like, you know, hit it too hard with a knife while they were cutting a fucking steak or something. I'm like, no, I like this. It's my favorite.
Yeah.
There's no like rational reason for that. Like, you shouldn't have a favorite fork. Like, it's kind of fucking stupid, but it's like, no, I got one.
No, I say there's not. However, somehow they managed to acquire a fork from our house, and it's still in their silverware drawer. So whenever I find that fork, that's the fork I'll use.
Fair enough.
Because my father-in-law, he lives buying like his Walmart, like dollar store quality fork.
Yeah.
But the one that we had was actually from our wedding set. And yeah. So yeah, I guess I do have a favorite fork.
Yeah. Fucking what is it? I think it's my aunt. She's got a really nice like silverware set. And one of the spoons wasn't cut right. And the edges are like super sharp. And like you could like stab somebody with it, right? But I really love fucking eating with that spoon. I only go down there like once every 2 fucking years. But when I do, I make sure I use that fucking spoon. And that's probably fucking weird. Like, I don't know if other people are like that or not, you know, but it's like, hey, I think that, you know, deserves some type of fucking attention. Like, this conversation is not being had in America. And we need to talk about favorite silverware, all right?
Now, do you use that one to cut your steak with them?
No. It's weird because like they have like 100% silver, fucking all their silverware, but their steak knives are like cheap Walmart knives. So I think the silverware was inherited, but you know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't do any fucking thing different. I want to get though that silverware set where I seen the guy like make the shit on fucking YouTube, and I seen it bounce around on Instagram every once in a while. But like some dude like makes the old like Viking style like fucking like silverware out of like melted down rebarb, where it's like, you know, steel fucking just turned into a fucking knife. And it's like, yeah, that's like shit, but like you could kill a bear with it. Here you go, kid.
Right, and it'll last forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, let's see. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something else here. Fucking. I remember what that Germany thing was now.
Oh, what's up?
You ever heard of Techno Viking? You ever heard of the Techno Viking?
Dude, I know exactly who the Techno Viking is.
Now, I heard that he totally like went to shit like a few years after that video was made.
Really? That's unfortunate. Why is that?
Yeah. I don't know. Just, I mean, you know, here he is. He's like this fucking big buff dude that looks like the perfect Viking or whatever.
Yeah.
And then at some point afterwards, he got like fat or some shit. He ends up looking like me.
Oh, well, I mean, it happens. I mean, you know.
Yeah.
People get old and get fat. I mean, I know I did, but, you know, it happens. One of the things about Germany, though, that, like, I think's curious, maybe kind of funny, right, is, like, do you know what the Black Forest is?
That's where gummy bears come from.
Yeah. So you hear somebody talk about the Black Forest, and like the first thing you think is like, okay, so like there's like witches and like demons and like orcs, and like if you go around in the wrong place, some like fucking hoofed fucking demon with a pitchfork's gonna come out and drag you back to hell. No, it's all gummy bears and cuckoo clocks. It's nice cherry cake with this nice cream cheese top. And it's like, why are you gonna get something like a badass name like that where like you're afraid of fucking goblins and shit? but like your whole deal is fucking gummy bears.
Yeah.
Total letdown.
Yeah.
Although I hear it's a really nice fucking place to go.
Gummy bears and ham.
Yeah.
Oh god. Now, what's been your favorite place to travel to? Or have you? I don't know. Have you done a lot of traveling? Both for or both in the military and out.
Favorite place I've been, probably Singapore, which is a fucking real interesting place. So Singapore is kind of like a city state, right? Like the whole country's on like one island, and if you look at it on a map, it looks like it's like one city, but there's like 5 cities there, quote unquote. And if you like walk around like the downtown main area, like it'd be forgivable for people to look at the Facebook pictures and think you were in fucking New York, right? However, if you go down to fucking like little China or like the little India, like the fucking like I don't want to say like the hood, but like the less nice, not tourist friendly places, it's a fucking riot.
Yeah.
Like fucking the nightclubs are fucking off the hook. The fucking food like tastes like fucking like God came in your mouth. Fucking so I was at this fucking one. Oh, and they're super fucking accommodating too. So I was at this fucking place, right? And it wasn't really too much more than a shack, but like they had a wall of like aquariums, and it had all the not animals, fish, sea life in them. And there was this crab that was like trying to like pinch at me. I thought it was pinching at me, like in the aquarium. I was like, oh, that crab's mad at me. Yeah, whatever. I'm gonna like move over here while I'm waiting in line. Crab moves across the aquarium, tries to pinch at me. I move back. It comes over here, tries to pinch at me. I'm like, okay, so this crab right here doesn't fucking like me. So we get seated, talk to the fucking hostess with like her broken English and like the 5 words of Mandarin Chinese that I knew at the time, which was basically, can I get beer and noodles? And thank you, yes, no, that kind of shit. Like the touristy fucking like shit you learn like, the day before you go. And I was like, hey, so you want noodles and what can I have for meat? She's like, oh, whatever you want in the aquarium. It's like, whatever I want. Can I have whatever? It's like, yeah. So I walk her to the fucking wall. I point out, I was like, I want that fucking crab. She sticks her hand in there, grabs that crab. 10 minutes later, I ate that motherfucker. Fucking claw at me, bitch.
Excellent.
Yeah. Malaysia is also really cool. Fucking, I haven't been to like Kuala Lumpur. Because like Malaysia is like broken into, like you got the part that's on the peninsula that like Thailand's on, and you got the other part that's on Sumatra where it's not on Sumatra, it's on Borneo, where like a bit of Indonesia is. But the part in Borneo, fucking what is it, Kota Kinabalu? Like I went there a couple times. Also always off ship, which by the way I know let's go into ship life here in a minute. But excuse me, this place was fucking great because it had all the fucking I guess quaintness of being in some other country to visit some other country. Like it had all the good culture stuff, but it also had a bunch of like Australian tourists. So it's like, hey, listen, I have people to talk to because like I can kind of bullshit with somebody that doesn't speak English because like I'm good with hand signals, like. We can fucking like make noises, like do the face hole thing and hand gestures. Like I remember in Japan a lot, I would talk to Japanese fucking self-defense force soldiers and just use like anime references. Like there was one time I had an hour-long conversation with this dude about Dragon Ball Z, and I didn't speak 2 words of fucking Japanese. This dude didn't speak 2 words of fucking English. It was all just like doing all the fucking like shit, and we had a fucking great time, man. Me and this dude got fucked up. We had a great fucking night. Complete language barrier though, but it's a little bit different because like you're in Malaysia, you're fucking like party city, like you're in the fucking tropics, like you can have those conversations with the locals, but there's also like college age Australian fucking chicks there that just want to bullshit. It's like, I speak English, you speak English, we don't have this to like make all the noises, we can just talk about whatever. Yeah, good fucking time. What was funny about that though was I remember one time I went out because like when you're on ship, when you're out in port, you either have to be back on the ship at a certain time. Usually it depends on what your rank is, what time you have to be back, Or like if you get an overnight pass, you can stay in a hotel, but you have to call the ship from the hotel at a certain time at night, and then call them again at like 6 o'clock in the fucking morning, to confirm that you were in the hotel all night. So me and my buddy, we fucking go to this hotel, we check in, and we're like, okay, so we're in the hotel. We called the ship. We're in. We're not supposed to leave the hotel, but there's a bar downstairs. Let's go down to the fucking bar downstairs, right? So we go down to this bar. It's fucking like jazz club. We're like fucking stoked because like the other thing though too is like they don't let you like leave the ship dressed like trash. So like I'm wearing like khakis and like a fucking like blazer and like a tie and shit, and we just kind of like fit in this fucking jazz club. And it turns out the lead singer of this band, what he would do was between fucking sets, he'd like walk around and talk to fucking people. But turns out he's from Malaysia, but like moved to like London when he was like 10 and like lived there till he was like fucking 25 and then came back to fucking Malaysia. He's, hey, you guys speak English? I speak English. Let's be friends. And then we're like, all right, cool. So we drink there till like fucking 2 o'clock in the morning. And then he's like, hey, so bar's closing. We're going to go to this fucking club down the street if you guys want to go. And we're like, fuck it. I haven't been in JP yet. I'll fucking take that shit. Or I guess, what do you guys call it? Captain's Mast? Yeah. I was like, I haven't had one of those yet. Fucking let me go fucking find some fucking trouble. So we get in this fucking van with like all 15 fucking members of this fucking jazz fucking band and like all fucking 14 of the fucking groupie chicks. I don't know why my fucking camera's being a fucking bitch right now. But anyway, I'm going to keep rolling. Anyway, fucking there's like 20 of us, maybe 30 of us in this fucking like Dodge Caravan, built for like 8 people fucking max. And we drive fucking half an hour out into the fucking jungle to this like one solitary fucking building that was like maybe 30 yards by 30 yards. And like we walk in and it's like the fucking club from Blade, except for instead of a bunch of fucking vampires, it's a bunch of fucking like 5 foot tall fucking Malaysian people. And we're like, hey, all right, cool. We're the white guys. We're the foreigners. We're just here to like have fun. Everyone's like, you're not from here. Let me buy you a drink. It's like, dude, all right, cool. So we get fucking obliterated. We ended up getting back to the fucking hotel like 2 minutes before like we had to last end of the fucking thing call the ship. And so I call the ship like, hey, this is Carmel Ainsworth. We're in the hotel, we're good, thanks, we'll be back at the ship at whatever. Hang up the fucking phone. As soon as I hang up the phone, I fucking exorcist vomit all over the fucking room. And like food I ate for breakfast 2 days before still hadn't been fucking digested. And then like I wake up and I'm like, dude, that was breakfast 3 days ago. Why? I've pooped since then. Why hasn't this been dude? I was freaked out, man.
Dude, that was one of my beach parties. Being stationed in Guam, you pick up beach life, right? And so I had this truck. It was a flatbed pickup, and I mean I had like a wooden flatbed on the back of it. And we would have parties down on one of the beaches there on base. And so this one night we're having a party. I got like food lined up down the middle, drinks down the outside. We're doing flaming Dr. Peppers. Have you ever had a flaming Dr. Pepper?
Yes. Ironically enough, there's like no actual Dr. Pepper in it, right?
Exactly. It's just for those that don't know, it's your beer of choice. I personally like to use Miller Genuine Draft for it. So MGD, you have a shot glass full of amaretto and a little bit of 151 on top, and so that's where you get your flaming part from. And so anyways, and if you go to my profile page on Facebook and just look Shad Turner, go to my photos, you can actually see some of those pictures of me being a drunk ass holding a shot glass about to drop it in my solo cup. Anyways, so we got totally drunk doing those, right? At one point, I dropped the shot glass with the amaretto and the 151. The back of the truck's on fire. I'm blowing it this way, trying to blow it off the truck. This other dude who's also drunk is blowing it back the other way, and we're having like this tug of war with flaming 151 on the bed of my truck. Anyways, I get totally shit-faced drunk. I don't remember how I got back to my barracks room, but I remember waking up in the morning. I look, I'm in my bed, I'm naked. So I'm like, okay. I didn't have a roommate at that point, so it was all good. So
Happens.
I go in, yeah. So I go into the bathroom, I look in the shower, and in addition to the sand being everywhere, there's little bits of mushroom And that was from my breakfast. I had a breakfast omelet 2 days before with mushrooms in it. So yeah, I feel your pain on the shrooms, man.
Yeah, no, I always get confused with that because like, dude, like my stomach should have fucking taken care of this by now.
Exactly. Why is it still in there?
Yeah, no, like I had that problem real bad when I was in fucking Pendleton because we had one of our buddies' place we would go to, like the whole fucking, platoon would go there to fucking, party on Fridays because he had a house and it wasn't the barracks and we'd just sleep on the floor. Everything was cool, right? And I remember one time I got too drunk, fucking puked in the backyard, and it killed the grass, like in that spot. And I want to say like a good 6 or 8 months after that, where I made it a point every fucking Friday night to puke right there and kill that motherfucker's grass. And like, even if I didn't get so drunk that like I wanted to puke, it was like, all right, listen, no, I just had a good night, got a good buzz. I should probably go to bed. And then like I'd start getting ready to like go, crash on the floor of the guest room or the garage or wherever the fuck it was. And then I'd be like, wait a minute, there's still grass out there. And then I'd go find whatever the fuck I could. And I would just chug it until I puked just so I could kill this motherfucker's grass. And like a lot of the times, like it wasn't even like I drink so much I get drunk. Like I would just drink a lot of beer really quick so that like all the carbonation in there would find its way out anyway. So it wouldn't even be an alcohol thing at that point. It was just like too much bubbly. And I kept that motherfucker's backyard's grass fucking dead. For no real reason whatsoever, just because, fucking early 20s fucking arounds,
Yeah. Yeah, no, my only purposeful puke stories revolve around, again, I used to date a lot of I dated a few dancers while I was in Guam.
Yeah.
And one of them was still my roommate. And she worked at this one club down on what we call Hotel Road, which is like the main tourist area. Because Guam was awesome back when I was there.
Yeah.
All the executives from Japan would get sent to Hawaii because everyone thinks Hawaii is like shit, right? All the workers would get sent to Guam. Personally, I've been to Hawaii. I thought Guam was better because it's territory, so they don't have to abide by all the rules that stateside have to abide by.
Right.
So they can serve alcohol and see everything. But anyway, and they can touch you. You can touch them if it's within reason, and life is good. But anyway, so one of my roommates, she worked at this club. She preferred it when I would pick her up in the morning, or when she'd get done working. So I'd go out, I'd drink all night, and then get back to the club. I'd have a few more drinks because the owners of the club, me and my buddy, we used to buy them beer on base, and then we would bring the beer to the club because we could buy a case of beer for $10. So they'd give us $100. We'd go buy them 2 cases of beer. We'd bring it to the club because they would have to pay like $20 if they bought it through the distributor. So we saved them money.
Yeah, you're scratching their back, they're scratching yours.
Yeah, so we became friendly with them. And they also noticed that on the nights I dropped them off and I bought the first beer, for some reason, they were packed all night long. So they swore I was a good luck charm. So they say, oh, you come in, you buy first beer, you drink the rest of the night free. They're a Korean couple that ran this club.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, you're not Irish.
I can do that. No, not Irish. But I never took total advantage of it. But I would go in, I'd buy the first beer, I'd go out to a couple of other clubs, come back, and then I'd drink the rest of the night, just maybe 2 or 3 more beers, right?
Yeah.
Well, I knew I would have to drive them home, so I would go out to my car, puke at the back of the car, and then go lay down in the seat, and I'd pass out for a couple hours until they got off work. They'd come knock on the window, and I'd let them in. We'd drive home. So that's my puke story.
All right, fucking I got one more, and then we're almost at our time limit. So I'm gonna tell you this one, and then bounce out real quick. So, me and my buddy, we're stationed in 29 Palms, and they have Comic-Con down in Palm Springs, right? So me and my buddy are like, hey, we're gonna get off base. We're gonna be out for a while. Let's go do this. Let's get a hotel for the night, so like we can hang out, like not in 29 Palms, have a good time, come back in the morning. So we go to Comic-Con, we have a good time, and then we go and we get fucking hammered, and then we come back to the fucking hotel, and my buddy Jude, he's like, all right, well, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm like, all right, yeah, cool, do that. I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. I'm right behind you. So I'm outside, I'm smoking my cigarette. I'm like, you know what? I don't have to puke, but I feel like I'm going to if I lie down. So I'm gonna go sleep in the shower, because like one of my remedies for that is I sleep in the shower. So if I puke, it's cleaned up by the time I wake up. And if I drown, then fucking I don't have to deal with it. So I fucking stumble into the fucking room, don't pay attention to fucking what the fuck's going on, go into the fucking bathroom, and then like I open the fucking shower because like I'm about to fucking get in the shower, turn the water on, fucking go to sleep. Jude's curled up in the fucking tub. So I say, Jude, get the fuck out of the shower. I'm going to sleep here. And he goes, no, fuck you, dude. I'm like, no, dude, get the fuck out of the shower. He's like, dude, go fuck yourself. I'm sleeping here. So if I puke, I'll be clean in the morning. I'm like, that's what I'm doing, but I'm not going to fucking lose this one. So he's like, fuck you. I'm like, fuck me? Okay, fine. So I stick my middle finger down my throat, and then I puke in my hand, and then I throw it at him. And he goes, dude, what the fuck? And I just keep puking in my hand and throwing it at him. Like, straight up like Haidoken Kamehameha stomach bile acid at him. And I have to give it to Jude because he just turned on the shower and turned around and fucking ignored it. And he got to sleep in the shower, and I wasn't gonna fucking crawl with him. So I got whatever it was out of my fucking system. And then he won. So yeah. Anyway, Shad, fucking great having you on. Fucking good conversation. Fucking tell the people listening where they can find you.
All right. So if you want to find me on Facebook, look for Veterans Unite Podcast. You do have to type in the whole damn thing, or else I don't pop up. So Veterans Unite Podcast, all one word. On Instagram, it's Vets Unite, because some other dillhole took Veterans Unite. And then you can find the podcast on any podcast player that's out there. I should be on all of them. But also every Sunday night we have We Got Your 6 at 6 show that I do with Tripp Project. That's at from 6 to 7 Central PM, that is. And then my regular interview shows, they come out sometime during the week, and post the video on Instagram, Facebook. I'm starting to get into Rumble or Rumbler, whatever the hell it's called.
I haven't heard of that one.
Kind of like a YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a new one. My wife is yelling at me. It's Rumble. So yeah, there you go. And yeah, so just type in Veterans Unite Podcast. I should pop up somewhere.
All right. Well, fucking all right, dude. Fucking well, good having you on, dude. I will talk at you later. I'm sure that we'll do this again at some point. So,
and hopefully I'll have better internet.
Yeah, dude. Like that was what the fuck at the beginning, man. But yeah, I'll figure that out.
I've been watching it like the last 20 minutes, and it hasn't dropped once. So go figure.
Yeah, right. But all right, dude. Fucking good talking to you. I'll catch you on the flip side, man.
Likewise.
Later.